Upset alert is coming in about 7 minutes, but we've got new news from Pat McAfee and Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers joined the Pat McAfee Show, his first public comments outside of Instagram since his injury, and here's what he said. Odds are stacked against me based on age, but stack all the odds against me and see what happens. I have a rehab plan that's going to shock some people. As Kevin Garnett said, anything is possible. Okay. Brew, so he's saying that he could possibly come back this year. What's your reaction to this idea?
I mean, I have no doubt that he probably does have some unorthodox rehab plan. You know, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but he's unorthodox when it comes to the things he does off the field. So he probably does have something that in his mind is going to work. That's unconventional. But I just think this is blowing smoke. Like, I'd be shocked. Cam Akers came back in 5 months. 28 days is the word we've gotten. Maybe, look, it's probably good, Coach, to throw this out there to your teammates because they, you know, look, if we can get in the playoff hunt or get in the playoffs and then maybe Aaron comes back, maybe we can do something. Although that would be odd because then Zach would have played fairly well, at least, to get you in the playoffs. I just don't – I'd be shocked if he – I'm not even really considering that he'll be back this year. I can't even imagine that.
Anything is possible, but it's not probable. And just because your rehab plan is unorthodox or nobody's seen it, it doesn't mean that it's going to work.
Right.
There's a lot of time, energy, effort that goes into to figuring out the best process for rehabbing your players. And it's across. It's not the NFL. It's every major sport. It's every sports science doctor and go on and on. So I don't know if he's uncovered some magical formula that's going to bring him back quicker. But you're also fighting against your age. When you reach a certain age, you know, it just gets harder to come back from it. And the point you make too is a really valid one. If Zach has him in position to be in the playoffs, are they now going to bring a unproven as a Jet Aaron Rodgers back who lasted, 5 or 7 plays to then go and play in the playoffs when he hadn't played, not only coming off an injury, but he hadn't played all year as well? It just seems it seems so hard to believe on so many levels that he'll be back this year.
J.K. Dobbins also tore his Achilles week 1. He was ruled out for the year. A lot of times I think we think about Durant, who tore his Achilles in the finals, missed that full year, finals to finals, and then came back in Brooklyn to the beginning of the season. So that was a year plus. A year and a half. Right. But I want to be optimistic. It would be awesome if he came back. So let's just play in the world of optimism here. Aaron Rodgers says he starts showing up, and all of a sudden at the 4-month mark, you can be jumping, jogging, according to The Athletic, doing ramped up workouts, throwing the ball. Suppose he's like at the facility. And like, wow, Rodgers moving around better than expected, whatever he was up to. Would you consider putting him in if the Jets are winning games?
I mean, obviously you got to see what the doctors say. Like my first thing is for his health at his age. And if I'm the Jets, I'm thinking, like, it looks like they want him back next year. So I'm thinking, are we better off just waiting for him for next year?
Let me put the screws to you,
I'll give it to you this way.
Go.
Because whatever he wants, he might get, right?
Yes.
With
Yeah,
the
they're
Jets.
not going to overrule
Right, he'll do what he wants.
If he's ready to play and he wants to play,
they'll probably throw him in. But my thing is, if Zach's playing well or okay and they get to the playoffs, if you're the Jets, you're thinking, man, next year with Aaron Rodgers healthy, we can really maybe win the Super Bowl. So I would probably lean toward keeping him out.
You know what's funny? In Seth Wickersham's book, I'm telling you something you know, so this is kind of, I just realized that.
Sure.
Sorry. Well, here's something that you lived through that I read. Let me tell you something. I just realized I screwed up. In any event, I didn't realize that after Tom Brady was cooking on the run to the Super Bowl, when Drew got in there, Drew wanted to play more. And I assumed it was no, man, this guy's been winning all the games. Could you see a scenario where Rodgers hey, I know the other guy's been doing all the work and he seems like he got us to a really positive spot, but I want my old job back?
Look, if Zach Wilson plays like Tom Brady played and they win a bunch of games, then I would imagine you'd roll with Zach Wilson. But if you had an opportunity to bring Aaron Rodgers back for the playoffs and your alternative was Zach and he was playing well enough to allow the rest of the team to win and be effective, you would still say, okay, this Aaron Rodgers gives us the best chance to go to the Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl, and you would bring him back. It's just so hard to think he's going to be in any position to play at a high level so quickly when so many other people who have gone through this haven't been able to. And look, I hope he has found some magical, formula or process to come back quicker.
Look, since we're dancing in the world of make-believe, let's say Zach's playing really good, right? And they're going to make the playoffs. Then, because Brady, they were winning, his numbers weren't phenomenal, but they're winning, right?
Yeah.
If Zach's playing really well, and Rodgers wants to come back, I would ride with Zach.
If Aaron Rodgers is like, I'm ready to go.
Again, this is really fictional.
Wow, we are in the land of
I know, but that's part of the
But hold on, he's talking about coming back and he's whatever little rehab thing he's got.
That would be such a high-class problem for the Jets. That would be such a fantastic problem. Not only short term, but organizationally, if your quarterback who you drafted and were hoping was the future has suddenly now proven that he could be, and you have Aaron Rodgers, it's a great situation.
Okay, I just got word from Hubs. It's time for the hottest segment in all of sports television. It's time for upset.
All right.
Friendly reminder of how upset alert works. I pretend to be a groundhog who lives in Pennsylvania, and we pick upsets. We're going to start with Chris Broussard.
Right.
Do I try to make the Bud list about me? Sometimes, yes. It's Coach first. I was just informed. I'm sorry. I'm so worried about you. Coach is also stealing my spotlight. Go ahead, Coach.
I take this segment to heart, and it's an upset alert, so it should be a significant margin of it should be a significant margin of
the rules.
Okay. So I'm taking a team that's a 8.5-point dog. I'm taking a team that hasn't won in their location since 2002.
Wow.
I'm taking Bruce Guy to beat the Bills. I'm taking the Raiders over the Bills.
An upset alert.
In Buffalo.
It's a great upset alert.
And
Coach.
it's Josh Jacobs is going to get back on track. The Bills really struggled last week against the Jets in their running game, and it's not like the Raiders lit it up running the ball, but I think Josh Jacobs is going to get back on track. I think Devontae Adams is going to have a really big day. And I don't know if we have the graphic, but that we sometimes pull up about Jimmy.
Wow, Dusty.
70% of his career starts, he wins. And so that's how the upset alert, I think, works, is you have a significant deficit when you choose this.
Well, not necessarily, but that's solid.
Coach, that was impressive. Now, quickly, though, on what you said, if they do win, what's going to happen in Buffalo?
Oh, my gosh.
The sky will be falling.
They might take that banner down in the
They might take that
facility.
down. Yes, I think that'd be a good
All right,
game.
Brew, you're upset. That was fantastic. Great way to start. Again, doesn't have to be 8.5 points.
Yeah, because I'm not at 8.5. I don't even think I'm halfway there. But, as you said, battle for my heart. This is the second week I'm doing the battle for my heart. The Ravens, who I've picked to win the Super Bowl, get to the Super Bowl, not win it, over the Bengals.
Oh, what's the line on that?
What's the line?
3.5.
3.5.
That's fair. That's decent.
We got
Isn't
three
it
right there. The line's moving once they heard your upset alert. Yep.
It's moving, But anyway, Baltimore has the Bengals. It's weird, the Browns kind of have the Bengals number. Baltimore kind of has Bengals numbers. I know they're 4-2 with Burrow. But that includes last year's playoff game, which was a close game with Lamar out. Tyler Huntley quarterbacking, and they almost beat the Bengals in the playoffs. Okay. And then they did beat them in the regular season with Lamar, the Ravens. And then when Lamar was out, the Bengals beat them again. So Lamar is 6-1, Coach, against the Bengals. 6-1. All right, so I got Lamar and the Ravens pulling the upset.
That's solid.
Brew,
look at the bottom line.
I've checked through this, Brew. It's the first things first official bylaws. 3.5 points does make an upset alert.
Yes.
Anything below that is ridiculous.
I gotta check.
It's right here. Anything below 3.5 points cannot be included on the segment.
Okay. Check the header there.
Oh.
That is for human beings only.
Oh,
When the Punxsutawney Phil of football is picking, any upset is on the board. And while I would like to have a huge spread and try to drive ratings, I am cursed with just being accurate. I have to just tell you
last week.
what I see. It was an alert. Again, guys, it's called upset
It was
alert.
it was a good alert.
It's not necessary. It's not called
Indeed,
upset
almost.
guaranteed win.
Tepid
So
alert.
granted, it's a 1.5-point underdog, but the Packers
It's
and Jordan
right
Love
here.
That's
over
definitely in the bottom
the
line.
frisky Falcons, who, by the way, are undefeated. Here's the thing about Week 1. If you play bad, everybody's like, well, Lamar's still good, Joe Burrow's still good, Patrick Mahomes is still good. But if you play great, no one's really willing to be like, wow, you played great. Mac Jones played great. Everyone's like, I don't know. Jordan Love played excellently. Can we see Jordan Love's numbers, even though you don't believe in Jordan Love? I sure do. Zach Wilson spent 20 minutes with Aaron Rodgers. He's like, I'm the new Aaron Rodgers. I'm trying to copy him. Jordan Love's like, yeah, dude, get with me. I've been doing this for 3 years. He had the best touchdown interception ratio, the best passer rating, best yards per pass. Here's the other thing. I don't believe in what the Falcons are doing. They had a funny little play here. Desmond Ridder threw up a ball. He decided to catch it. You think like, okay, sure, put that in Weird and Wonderful. What's it doing in an upset alert? Well, here's why. When you look at this, or Arthur Smith was asked about this, like, hey, you know that Desmond Ridder had more catches than Drake London? He's like, well, Drake London doesn't care. All we care about is being 1-0. I disagree. I think guys who catch the ball want to catch the ball. And so far, the Falcons are not targeting Kyle Pitts for the second year in a row, even though I heard in the draft he was the best tight end of all time. And Drake London had 0 catches. So do I think they're going to have similar output? No. I think they're going to try to force the ball to them. And I think Matt LaFleur knows that. I think there's going to be a pick 6 that was targeted to either Drake London or Kyle Pitts. And that's why the Falcons, even though it's only a 1.5-point spread, I'm sorry, outright win for the Packers. That's the word from Punxsutawney Phil. Don't do it with the bylaws.
Why do we have
the
this?
bylaws.
We don't need this. We don't. This is.
Guess what?
It doesn't
I'm a
mean
groundhog.
anything.
I cannot read. Coming up next, Coach Prime, Sunglass Gate. Oh my goodness gracious, Colorado State.
Getting even more interesting.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.